Happy day to all my Nanbas and Nanbis. I hope all of you are studying in full swing, and I am here with 5 different concepts where you're just gonna spend 5 minutes and it can fetch you 5 marks minimum in the examination, guys. Now, the first question, without wasting much time, let's enter into the subject. The first one is, what is audit trail? Audit trail is basically the documented flow of transaction as to how the source document is translated into an accounting entry, and from the accounting entry, how it is translated into the financial statements. This is the audit evidence which is used to establish integrity and authentication. It helps to maintain record of system and user activity. There are about 13 points here. You can remember 10 points. It is a step-by-step record by which accounting, trade details and other financial data can be traced to its source. It is used to verify and track many types of transactions. They are record keepers. Audit trails helps to enhance the internal control, increases the data security. Data security point is also here. It aids in verification whether transaction was indeed by the person who is authorized to do so. So audit trails enhances the data security. So whatever evidence that the auditor is obtaining, it is more reliable. Audit trails helps in fixing responsibility, rebuilding events and thorough analysis of problem areas. It also specifies the reason for the problem. However, audit trail involve cost not only in terms of money but also in terms of time which is getting involved. Systems which have a feature of audit trail inspire the confidence in the auditors. These are the 13 points that you will write with respect to audit trail. The next one is with respect to data analytics. So data analytics is basically when you go and do audit of large companies, you have to process large volume of data, and for that you will be using computers. Nowadays AI is there, but previously they used to use something called as CAT, computer assisted audit technique. See the keywords one by one here. This is the combination of process, tools and techniques which is used to tap vast amount of electronic data to obtain meaningful information. Auditors can make use of similar tools and techniques in the audit process to obtain the good results. For example, it is CAT. Data analytics can be used for testing of the electronic records and data which is inside the IT systems using spreadsheets to perform the following things: checking the completeness of data, selection of audit samples, recomputation, reperformance, analysis of journal entry to see whether fraud is there or not, to see whether internal controls is operating. So data analysis helps to do these things for the auditor. These are the 7 things. What is data analytics? Definition is here. For what it can be used are the 7 things. This is data analytics. The next one is digital audit. What is the meaning of digital audit? Entities are embracing digitization. Of course, in previous days when all the invoices was in paper format, we used to do paper audit. Right now everything is the computer, so audit also has to happen in the computer. Embracing the digitization as part of the operations to keep in pace with whatever times are changing. New technologies are helping companies revamp their operations and rethink the way the business have been conducted. Automation is the key to digitization, so companies are restructuring their business which is happening by use of technology. In such a business environment where technology is being made by auditors right from planning to expression of final opinion, from planning stage till the conclusion stage, technology is being used. Auditors are also using AI, data analytics, other latest technology to help the business processes in a better way. By using such tools, auditor can conduct the audit in a better way and devote important attention to important areas. Digital audit is helping auditors to better identify the risks by making use of technology. So basically, for planning, for risk, for conclusion, for selecting the sample, they are using AI. AI, data analytics and other latest technologies are being used. 8 points you will have to write for digital audit. Now, ICA always likes documenting. Documenting automated environment, documenting materiality, documenting the audit, what and all you'll have to do. For documenting the automated environment, you have to document about the information system, what is the purpose, location of IT system, architecture, version, interfaces, whether it is in-house or packaged, what are the outsourced activity and who are the key people, that is Chief Information Systems Officer, the administrators and all those people. The next one is documenting materiality. With respect to materiality, the documentation has to happen for materiality for FS as a whole, materiality for ABCD, that is account balance, class of transaction disclosure, materiality specific for performance materiality, and if there is any revision in these 3, that revision also has to be documented. The next is documenting the audit. The auditor has to document any discussion between the engagement team members and whatever decisions which has been reached, key elements of understanding the aspects of the entity and its environment, the components of internal control, and the risk of material misstatement, whatever is identified and assessed. If the risks are identified and if there are any related controls with respect to that risk, then how has the auditor obtained the understanding? These 4 points has to be there for documenting the audit. Now the next question is respect to, we are done with all the documenting. IFC and IC over FR. Now the terminology might be similar, but they are completely different concepts. Internal financial control and internal control over financial reporting. See here, IFC is very similar to internal control only. IC over FR on the other hand is a separate opinion that the auditor has to express, and this opinion is completely different from the opinion which is expressed on the financial statements. Read the theory given. The IFC refers to policies and procedures put in place by the company for reliability of financial reporting, effectiveness and efficiency of operation, compliance with applicable laws and regulations, safeguarding of assets, and prevention and detection of fraud. The same definition for internal control only is internal financial controls. What is IC over FR? On the other hand, IC over FR is required where auditors are required to express an opinion on the effectiveness on the entity's IC over FR, and such an opinion is an addition to and different from whatever opinion is expressed on the financial statements. Therefore, IFC is a wider term than IC over FR. IC over FR is a narrower term which is restricted only to entities' internal control over financial reporting. This is IFC and IC over FR. The fourth question is about audit program. What are the points to remember? How will you construct an audit program? What are the advantages and disadvantages of audit program? Be very careful when they ask a question on audit program. For your attempt, this is really important. Audit program is basically having a detailed plan and a series of verification procedures to be done on the financial statements to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Now, if they ask a question saying for framing an audit program, what are the points to be kept in view? You will be writing audit objective, procedure, extent of check, special instruction based on past experience, allocation of work, and timing of check. If they ask what are the points to remember for audit program, you will say evolving one audit program is not practicable for all business. The assistant is to keep an open mind. Periodic review of the audit program has to continuously happen. For constructing audit program, what are the following points should be kept in mind? Staying within the scope and limitation. Prepare a written audit program only. Determine the evidence which is reasonably available and identify the best evidence. Apply only the steps which are useful. Include audit objectives. Consider any possibility of error and coordinate the procedures to be applied in related items. So these 7 points you will write for constructing an audit program. Audit program is designed to provide audit evidence. Your auditor picks up evidence from a variety of fields and it is generally of the following broad types. Now itself we saw 4 questions with respect to audit program. Are you understanding how they will ask? This can be a question. This can be a question, whatever I have given in green. This can be a question and this also can be a question. Be really careful when they ask audit program question. Understand what he is asking. So what are the following broad types? Documentary, physical examination, statements and explanation of management, statement and explanation of third party, arithmetical accuracy, state of internal control, interrelationship, subsidiary memorandum records, minutes and subsequent action by client. This example also they can ask a question. For cash in hand, what is the best evidence? You have to write count. For investment pledged with a bank, what is the best evidence? Banker's certificate. For verifying assertions about book debts, the client's ledger invoice, debit note, credit note, monthly account statement which is sent to the customers, they are all audit evidences. In addition, balance confirmation procedure is also resorted to obtain greater satisfaction about reliability. Now comes advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages? When I have clear set of instructions, I know exactly what I have to do. This is useful for major audits. When I have a higher picture, I know how many assistants to select, and everything when it is written, nothing is carried out as a mental plan. So I have a properly framed program as to what I have to do. When the assistant is putting their signature, they are accepting the responsibility for the work that they are taking, and the principal can control the entire audit by just looking at the audit program as to who has accepted. So I will ask questions to them only. This serves as a guide for the succeeding year, and properly drawn audit program serves as an evidence. Now, if there are series of verification procedures, if I am inefficient, I will take shelter under this. The work may become mechanical. The program is rigid. It is inflexible. Inefficient assistants may take shelter. A hard and fast audit program will kill the initiative of efficient and enterprising auditing assistants. Now, when there are disadvantages, these disadvantages may be eliminated by 4 points. Imaginative supervision of the work. Auditor must have a receptive attitude as regards the assistant. Assistant should be encouraged to observe the matters objectively, and they should be encouraged to bring the significant matters to the notice of supervisor or principal. This is with respect to the audit program. Now comes the last question with respect to internal control. For controls which is relevant to the audit, we have SLM, NCC, DRS, size of the entity, legal and regulatory requirements, materiality. This is SLM. NCC is nature of entity's business, component of internal control, complexity of system. DRS is diversity and complexity, significance of related risk and specific control. This is SLM, NCC, DRS, for which the question is controls relevant to the audit. For methods for evaluating the internal control, we have 4 methods: narrative record, checklist, questionnaire and flowchart. The keyword is also given for each of the methods. Narrative record, the keyword is exhaustive description. For checklist, answer or follow. Questionnaire is the most important. For flowchart, it is graphical representation. The last question, that is nature and extent of understanding of internal control. Evaluating the design of control involves considering whether control is capable of effectively preventing, detecting and correcting a misstatement. Risk assessment procedure, IIoT, you will remember. IIO is inspection, inquiry, observation. T is for tracing the transaction through the information system. Obtaining an understanding of entities' control is not sufficient to test their operating effectiveness. Just 5 concepts you have studied. If they ask an exam, easy for you to get 5 marks. I know little bit more than 5 minutes it has taken, but worth it, guys. All the best.